One of the reasons why it is so difficult for us to create change is our history. Through our lives, we have been taught through cause and effect, through experience, through the lessons that are taught to us by the people who are closest to us, how the world works and how we're supposed to act. So that means that when we are deciding to change and act in a new way, it is requiring ourselves to let go of something that we've been carrying for a really long time. And so today, we're going to continue my favorite phrases series and talk about a very easy way when we're tapping to let go of those old stories in a way that our subconscious mind will actually embrace. Hi, this is Gene Monterastelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 555, originally aired April 19th, 2023. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of your day you're getting a chance to consume this. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Today, we are going to continue with part 6 of my favorite phrases series, and we're going to talk about why the phrase today about letting go of old stories is so useful, why it's so important, and why it's so hard to let those things go. One of the really amazing things about being human is the fact that we are these cause and effect machines. And basically, that's what the subconscious mind does. It learns all day long, where when something happens and it sees the response, it learns from that. And so through that process, that's the way we create our habits. But our habits just aren't about when I brush my teeth or whether or not I put my right leg into my pants first or my left leg in my pants in first. Instead, we also create habits about how we understand the world, how we understand ourselves, how we understand how we're supposed to act, what is good, what is right, what are the standards that we are living up to. And this is actually a good thing. It's good that we have habits about how we want to act, because that makes it so that every single time I encounter something new, it makes it really easy for me to respond to that without having to process and learn and figure out what's going on. And these habits are informed by our experience. But there's a couple of problems with our experience. Number one is we are not the same people we were a year ago, a decade ago, multiple decades ago. And so the way that might have worked for us in the past might not work for us now. Secondly, many of the habits, many of the stories, many of the things that we understand about the world have been handed to us over time. Which makes perfect sense. You know, when we are children, we are being taught about the world from the people who are around us closest. Now, sometimes that teaching is really, really intentional. We're an adult in our life. A loved one will turn to us and say, you know, in this circumstance, think about this. In this circumstance, we do that. But as children, we're constantly learning about the things that are going on around us. There's a quote somewhere that I found that basically says, children are really, really bad at doing what their parents tell them to do. They're really, really good at modeling and repeating the way their parents act. And so we are constantly be given stories from the people around us. And sometimes we're picking up stories because when we are super young, we don't actually understand what's going on. And so we take the wrong lesson from that particular thing. You know, our parent could be having a particularly bad day and they're complaining about their work environment. And if we are young and we hear that story, we can pick up the story that, oh, being in a work environment is dangerous. And so as we grow up, as we start to claim our own way, as we become our own people, it makes sense that the stories that we have been given by the people around us don't necessarily serve us. You know, we could have been given the story that says you have to have a job so you can make X amount of money and that's the only way you can be safe. And we're now in a circumstance where we recognize, actually, I don't have to have as much money as the story was telling me, and I'm going to find a lot more richness in my life to pursue my passion. Now, when we engage with that and we think about that, on some level, it feels like logically, I can just say, oh, I'm going to follow my passion. Except for the fact in our subconscious mind, there is this story that has been wired in saying you must work hard to make money to be safe. And so as we are trying to release that old belief, there's actually a bunch of things that can be attached to that particular belief. And what can be attached to that particular belief is the people who gave us that belief. On some level, it can feel like if I am rejecting this story, I am rejecting the people who gave it to me. If I am rejecting this story, I am saying the people who taught me this story are wrong. And there's a part of us that doesn't want to say that our parents are wrong, that our grandparents are wrong, that our teachers are wrong. And so there's a part of us that resists letting go of that. And so that's the reason why when I'm trying to create change, the phrase that I like to use is put down the tool. And what I mean by this is that the stories that we have been given are tools to navigate the world. Saying that you must work hard and earn lots and lots of money to be safe, that's a tool that helps me to understand how do I approach employment? How do I approach the way that I spend my time? And the reason why I like thinking about it as a tool is it means that it's something I can put down. That in my drawers, in my apartment, in my kitchen, here in my office are lots of tools, things that I found very, very useful at one point because of the stage that I was in my life or something that I was working on. And right now, I'm not at that stage. I'm not working on that task. And so I put the tool down. I'm not using it in this particular moment. For example, just to the right of me, I have a big green screen that I could put up when I'm making videos so I can create a different background. And at this particular moment, that's not something that I'm doing. It's not something that's necessary in the work that I'm doing. And so the tool has been put down and it has been put to the side. And so the reason why I do that, the reason why I think about putting down the belief like putting down a tool, is it makes it easier to work with the subconscious mind. I have always kind of approached the subconscious mind and trying to transform and work with my subconscious mind as trying to work with a willful 5 or 6-year-old. And I don't know if you've ever tried to work with a willful 5 or 6-year-old, but logic does not work in that particular scenario. But if you're in a situation where you have a young child and they're playing with a toy and you're inviting them to go dinner, and like, well, I don't want to let go of my toy. And you, as the adult, don't want the toy on the table. What you do is you take the toy and you put it on a shelf nearby the kitchen table so that the child can see the toy is nearby. It's not going away. It hasn't been destroyed. It hasn't been lost. It's just out over here. And the adult says, hey, while we're eating dinner, we're going to take Mr. Bunny and we're going to put Mr. Bunny up here on the shelf. And with Mr. Bunny up here on the shelf, you can see him. And when we're done eating, we can play with Mr. Bunny again. Now, oftentimes what happens with a small child is as the meal goes on, the moment they feel safe, the moment they know how to access the bunny, they're in a circumstance where they relax. And when they relax, they quickly change their mind. They get focused on dinner. They get focused on the thing they want to do after dinner. They're focused on bedtime, whatever it is, and they forget about it until they don't. And so when I am trying to create change, I am not trying to rip out of my subconscious mind's hand this tool that it thinks is really useful. Because if my subconscious mind thinks this is the way that I am going to be safe, is by acting in this particular way, it's not going to want to get rid of the thing that we are doing, get rid of this belief. And so that's the reason why I tap on the phrase, and we're going to tie it to one of our other favorite phrases, I give myself permission to put down this tool. And as I'm tapping on that, I give myself permission to put down this tool. I'm also saying, I give myself permission to put down this tool without rejecting the people who gave it to me. I give myself permission to put down this tool without saying the people who gave it to me are wrong. I give myself permission to put down this tool, meaning that at some point in the future, if I need to pick this tool up again, I can do exactly that. It is unlikely that I'll want to pick it up again, but I can certainly do that. And so when I am tapping and I incorporate those phrases into it, what I'm doing is just like the 6-year-old and saying, hey, we're going to put Mr. Bunny on the shelf here until dinner is over. I'm telling my subconscious mind, hey, we're going to take this belief that isn't useful in this moment, this tool, we're going to set it down. And we're going to come back to it later so that if we need it, we have access to it. Now, again, most of these beliefs that we are letting go of that have been given to us from society, from culture, from our family, from wherever they come from in our upbringing, more than likely, we're never going to pick these tools up again. And so when we're going through these phrases, it's not about saying what is true. It's about making the subconscious mind feel more comfortable as part of the transformation. So I really, really hope you take advantage of a tool like this. The next time you're trying to let go of a belief, even if you don't know the person who gave you that belief, give yourself permission to tap in that particular way where you're saying, I am taking this belief, which is just a tool, and I'm putting it down, and I can pick it up again later. That is number 6 in our series of my favorite phrases. If you want to check out the other phrases, I would really encourage you to do exactly that through this entire process, because each of the phrases, as you see, knit together in a perfect way. If you enjoyed this teaching and you'd like to do a deeper dive with me, I would really encourage you to join my First Action, Best Action community. Every single month, we do a comprehensive teaching on how you can get more out of tapping, but more importantly, how you can transform your subconscious mind so you consistently take authentic actions. We also do 4 office hours every single month where you can just ask me anything that you want. And the really cool thing is, for the first month when you join, you can join for $1. That means you get over 8 hours of training for only $1, as well as access to the entire back catalog. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/$1. That's tappingqa.com/$1, and you can join us for the next month to try out all of these new amazing tools. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd really encourage you to pass it along to a friend. You don't need to spam your inbox and send it to everybody in the world, but if you know 1 or 2 people who could enjoy a conversation like this, please be our ambassador. Pass it along. Even if they don't pay attention and listen to this, the simple fact that you've reached out and said, hey, I'm thinking of you today, is going to make their day better. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's actually true. I know that when people reach out to me, it makes a big difference. And so you'll be making their life and our world a little better just by reaching out and sharing it. If you haven't done so already, I'd really encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. In podcasting parlance, subscribe is always free. You can find every single episode anywhere you find audio. Just search Tapping Q&A in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, anywhere online. Tapping Q&A. Click subscribe, click follow, so that every single time a new episode comes out, you're notified right away. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, Gene Monterastelli, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.